Okay, welcome everyone to today's class. We are making progress. This is week 4 of our training, and in no time, we'll be talking about week 12 and probably your assessment, and that will be it. So I am trying to scroll back to the material that was posted on the platform. This week, we will be discussing stages of lawmaking. This week, we're actually talking about stages of legislative drafting, week 4. The 5 stages of legislative drafting, after which we will discuss the stages of lawmaking. So the 5 stages of legislative drafting, we had posted on the platform.
Ebenezer, we're starting with the lawmaking process, not legislation.
Okay, sir. We have posted on the platform the lawmaking process.
Check the charts. Please check the charts.
We have posted on the platform the lawmaking process, and I did make announcements that people should look at it and familiarize themselves with it because we'll be going through it. So without wasting much time.
I've just been able to unmute now. I'm sorry for the interjection. I kept trying. Thank you.
You are welcome. Kindly introduce yourself to the class and where you are joining us from.
Okay, Oluwatoyin Aladegbami. I am based in Abuja. I stumbled on this link and I felt it's something that will be very beneficial for me. So I decided to join in to see what benefit it will be. But I think I'm going to enjoy it. So far, so good. I thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And I look forward to having a robust interactive session after the lecture. Thank you. My understanding of legislative drafting has a lot to do with our laws, has a lot to do with, I do some work for those that are in the legislative arm of government. I read through, proofread and all that. So that's why I say I'm learning, I'm still learning, and I'm eager to learn.
I am applauding you already. Thank you very much. You are most welcome. You are most welcome. So today is week 4. This is ALDRAP, Madam Toyin. ALDRAP is Association of Legislative Drafters and Advocacy Practitioners. ALDRAP is an NGO that is focused on legislative drafting. We do consulting and we do capacity building as we are doing right away. This class is a 12 weeks online, free online legislative drafting course. The training is free. The course outline is for 12 weeks. And we are in week 4. After the training, those who wish to have certificates, we confer with us and go through the assessment examination, after which they pass, they pay their certificate processing fee, and the certificate will be sent to them. So you are welcome, and we are glad to have you on the call today, and we wish to see more of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, gentlemen, we have come to the beginning of today's class. How laws are made in Nigeria. There is also another diagram on the platform. I'm using the one that has 11 stages of lawmaking. So we know that legislative drafting has to do with drafting of documents that are used in the legislature or in legislative houses. Now, as a drafter, it is important that you know the processes of lawmaking, because the bill you're drafting or you will draft is going to pass through these processes to become a law. So that makes it imperative that you even know this document I am preparing, or I will prepare, or I will be required to prepare. How does it automatically become a law? Do I just submit it and the next thing the president signs or the governor signs, the answer is no. And that is why we are here this afternoon. So number one we have is the stage one is origination of the bill. Now you need to understand that there are basically 3 bills, but I will add a 4th one. The bill is either an executive bill emanating from the executive. Now it can go either through the Senate or the House of Representatives. Then we now have a private member bill, which is still either executive or Senate. That's why I said I will add a 4th one, which we talked about the last time, a bill emanating from the judiciary. So the stage one is originating the bill, origination of the bill. It is at this stage that a bill is submitted. You have drafted here, you have completed your draft as a legislative drafter, and the bill has been submitted to the House. Now that bill has to go through a serving member. If it is an executive bill, once the bill is completed, the president writes a cover letter addressing it to the majority leader of the ruling party, who now adopts the bill as the sponsor of the bill, and he presents the bill to the House. So the bill if it is a Senate bill, it is designated SB, Senate bill, showing that the bill is emanating from the Senate. If it is coming from the House of Assembly, or if it is a bill before the House of Assembly, it will be written on it HB, that's House Bill, then the serial number of the bill. So when the bill is submitted, stage one, the bill goes through the initial review. That is stage two. What is being done at the initial review? The Rules and Business Committee of the House looks at the bill to ensure that the bill conforms with the structure of the House bill. Now, the National Assembly, they have their own in-house style of drafting. Some houses of assembly, the Lagos State House of Assembly has their own in-house style of drafting. So when the bill gets to the initial review, what the Rules and Business Committee is doing, and also the Committee on Rules and Procedure, what they are doing is to check whether this bill conforms with the formats, with the in-house style of drafting. If it's found out that the bill conforms, then a date is assigned to the bill for first reading. At this time, the bill goes to stage 3, where the public is notified that a new bill is being considered before the House. After the stage 3, we come to the first reading of the bill, which is stage 4. For, if you remember your elementary government, when we talk about the process of lawmaking, they will just tell us first reading, second reading, third reading. Then the president assents. But what happens between first reading and second reading? What happens between second reading and third reading? What happens after third reading before the presidential assent? That is what differentiates you from the person who is not trained formally as a legislative drafter. So we look at stage 4. Stage 4 is the first reading of the bill. And at this first reading, the clerk of the House reads the bill aloud. The short title of the bill, he just reads it aloud to the hearing of members on plenary. Then he lays the bill before the Speaker of the House or the Senate President. That is what happens at the first reading. Now, By this time, the bill has been circulated to every member of the House. By this time, every member of the House already has a copy of the bill. So nothing happens again after the first reading. A date is slated for the second reading. Now, on that second reading, the person sponsoring the bill comes armed with the lead debates. The person sponsoring the bill okay, Prof, your hand is up, sir.
I just want to say the importance of knowing these processes. I was invited as a consultant by the legal departments, Lagos State House of Assembly. Because of what happened recently, my classmate, my LLM classmate, she's the director of legal, Lagos State House of Assembly. So they invited me for legal opinion. The former speaker is saying the maze was not used when he was impeached. And another thing, I gave them my legal opinion. Section 60 of the Constitution says each legislative house shall produce its own internal procedure, what they call standing orders. So anytime a legislature wants to sit, in addition to the Constitution, they have a copy of a document called the standing orders. You must comply with that standing order. Now, there are times, one of the rules in the standing order says you can suspend the rules for 1 day.
Yeah.
National Assembly did it in 2015. On the last date of the sitting of the Senate, they suspended the rules and passed 40 bills in 1 day so that the president will sign. It's possible to do that. Somebody will move the motion, the rules are hereby suspended. So when you suspend the rules, you no longer do first reading, second reading, everything is passed at once. No public hearing. It's allowed according to their rules. However, if you do not suspend the rules and you go ahead to pass a law, as it happened in the case of the bill, the law that extended the tenure of the Inspector General of Police, the public hearing was not, they just passed it within 1 week. No public hearing. And they did not suspend the rules, the standing orders. So that can be challenged in courts. If you skip any step in the lawmaking process, you have any law that comes out of it has violated the Constitution. The locus classicus for this is called Attorney General of Bendel State versus Attorney General of the Federation, 1981. If you skip any stage in the lawmaking process without suspending the rules, then you have violated the Constitution. Therefore, that law, any law that comes out of that process is null and void. Now, in the Lagos State case, it is now for the former speaker to bring the Hansard. The Hansard is a verbatim report of what happened on that day. If he can produce a verbatim report of what happened, he can show in court that on that day, they did not suspend the rules before they impeached him. And if he can show that to the court will vitiate all those proceedings. So what Ebenezer is telling you, all the steps, if you do not follow those steps, any law that comes out of the process is null and void on the basis of what the Supreme Court has held in AG Bendel versus AG Federation 1981. So it's important you know these processes and you advise your clients who are lawmakers to comply with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, sir. So after the first reading, the next date is the second reading. At the second reading is very crucial in the lawmaking process because it is at the second reading that the person sponsoring the bill will present his lead debate or brief of argument in support of his bill. Now, on this date, he stands before the House to canvass and marshal out his points why the bill should be passed into law. Back end, lobbying, convincing his colleagues to vote in favor of his bill would have happened. Now, remember that we talked about bill analysis, and we say bill scrutiny, and we said that when a bill is passed, the legislators give their aides, when a bill is submitted rather, give their aides to look at it, the legal aides, and scrutinize this bill and analyze this bill and find out whether you now hear the highest habits. That is where those in support the high is higher in number. Now, when he presents his lead debate, members will begin to raise their hand either in favor or against the bill. Where the people in favor of the bill are in majority, the bill passes the second stage, the second hearing. This is where the life of a bill is determined, whether it will proceed or not. It's at the second stage. Where the number of persons against the bill are higher in number, the bill dies here. And the technical language for that is negative. You say the bill is negative. That's the end of the journey of that. The bill goes, dies. It doesn't proceed. But where the bill succeeds the second stage, it moves to the next stage, the second reading. Now, at the next stage after the second reading is the committee stage. It is at this committee stage that the bill, because the bill is on a subject matter, let us assume that the bill is on agriculture, or security, or trade. There is a House Committee on Agriculture. There is a House Committee on Trade and Investment. The House has different committees. So, it is at this committee stage that the relevant committee of the House is set of the bill is directed to the relevant committee of the House. The bill can also border on different subject matter. Let us say maybe agriculture and transportation. Then you will now have a joint committee set up. But the main subject matter, the committee under which that falls, heads that subcommittee, that joint committee. So at the committee stage is where public hearing happens. The public is invited to come and make contribution by way of memoranda. They will write. Then at this stage, you also have civil society organizations. You have organizations like NGOs, like any stakeholder within that field. Let's say there's a bill on women's rights now. You now have different NGOs around women's rights. You have women rights organizations coming either in support or against the bill during public hearing. Then you also have the NBA is a stakeholder, is a rights-based organization. The NBA will come in with their own position. The public hearing will be held. People will present, different organizations will present their memoranda, and the committee continues their work. Now, note that what you are presenting is not binding. The committee is not mandated to take your view, even though it's persuasive. For us, ordinarily, the rigors of public hearing should be more tedious than it is in our climate. Because here it is more of ceremonial. Before you come, a lot of lobbying, has been done to get those in favor or those that are favorable to the position of the members supporting sponsoring the bill and the committee itself. And after the public hearing, the committee presents its own report back to the House. Before the committee comes to present its report, after the public hearing, the committee sits back on their own, goes through the clauses one by one, makes necessary adjustments either by way of making more input or removing some clauses. Now, take note of what I just said. Clauses, not sessions. Note the difference. At the bill level, that document, the different paragraphs, they are referred to as clauses. But when it becomes law, the clauses become sessions. So if it is an act, we are talking about sessions. If it is a bill, we are talking about clauses. So the next stage after the committee stage is committee report. The committee reports back to the House what they have done, the clauses they have removed, the amendments they have made. The committee presents the bill back to the House. Now, at that time, the committee also, every member of the committee also put in their names. Those who participated throughout the committee stage hearings, they comes to present and the chairman of that after he signs, they also sign to say yes, this is our position. After the committee reports, then comes in the next stage, which is third hearing. Now, this is another crucial stage. The third hearing, the House in plenary reads the clauses one by one and pass the clause or adopt the clause.
Beniza, you have muted yourself. Hello? Can anyone hear Beniza, or is just me?
He's offline, Prof.
Okay, so let me take up from where he is. Plenary means, these are technical words, you need to know them. Plenary means when the whole House is together. Committee is different. Now, when he was saying the committee report has to be signed by 1/3 of the members. If it is less than 1/3, that committee report cannot be submitted to plenary. That's another very crucial knowledge you need to have. So, as a lawyer, if you are supporting a bill or trying to defeat a bill, you pick up the committee report. You look for how many members. If it is 7, 1/3 of 7 must have signed. If it is not up to 1/3 of 7, then that committee report cannot fly. So these are technical knowledge you must know as a lawyer. Plenary means the whole House when they are complete. Now there's a quorum. A legislature cannot pass any law unless they have the quorum. Quorum means 1/3 of the total number. So if on that day,
I can't hear anything. No.
okay, I think my network went off. So these are technical details you need to understand. you must have the quorum before the plenary must be formed, constituted. There must be a quorum. Quorum means 1/3 of the total number. In Nigeria, our National Assembly has 469 members. So there must be 1/3 of that number to pass any law. You cannot, if there are less than 1/3 and they go ahead and pass the law, if that law goes before the court will hold that that law is null and void because it did not meet. So most of our laws in Nigeria, it's just that nobody keeps, in fact, in our law, constitution, there's a requirement that attendance, you must attend 181 days in a year. Every lawmaker must attend 181 days in a year. You cannot miss, if you miss attendance for less than 181 days, the speaker will declare your seat vacant and an election will be held by election to fill that vacancy. So these are very important details you need to know about the legislature. When they are passing a law, the process, you cannot skip one step. Ebenezer, you are back, so continue from where you stopped. You are muted, Ebenezer. You are muted.
Sorry, please, my network was misbehaving. I had to be fluctuating between Glo and MTN. Sorry about that, please. So, we're on the third reading, and we said that each of the clauses will be read one after the other and passed by the House in plenary. The House in plenary means that every member of the House will be present full for the purpose of that third reading. Then each clause is read and adopted by the House. Some clauses might be read out and then it will be opposed. Some clauses might be read out and somebody will seek that the clause be amended to read so and so. The amendment will be effected, then adopted by the House until they get to the end of the whole number of clauses, and that will be the third reading. And this is when the bill is debated for the final time. After this stage, nobody will bring up any debate again on that bill. Next stage is a clean copy of the bill. Now, because during the third reading, some amendments might have been made, so the bill is taken back and the clerk of the House produces a clean copy of the bill, effecting all the amendments that were made during the third reading. Now, that clean copy is signed by the House and by the clerk of the House, then the bill goes for concurrence. Concurrence is where, let's assume the bill emanated from the House of Assembly. Then when it passes the third reading and a clean copy is produced, it goes for concurrence to the Senate. The Senate has to also pass the bill. Both houses agree, okay, this is the bill as we want it. When the bill goes for concurrence, the Senate might also make their own amendments, inputs, and that bill, once the two houses agree that this is the bill the way we want it, that is concurrence. The two houses, a committee from the House of Representatives, a committee from the Senate, they meet jointly and agree on that bill. The same thing happens if the bill emanated from the Senate. After the third reading, it goes for concurrence with the House of Representatives. Now, after the concurrence, the clerk to the House, the clerk to the National Assembly, now takes the bill to the President for assent. Now, this stage is also very crucial because by the Acts Authentication Act, the bill is supposed to be produced in triplicates, the one that the president is to assent on. Triplicates on a vellum paper. That's the provision of our law. Now, the bill is produced in triplicates on a vellum paper. Now, a vellum paper is a special kind of paper that is made of animal skin. Vellum paper does not decay. So that symbolizes the perpetual nature of laws. Laws are made in perpetuity, except if the law has a sunset clause. Now, okay. Laws are made in perpetuity, except if the law has a sunset clause. So that's what the vellum paper symbolizes, that this law will just be in operation forever and ever. Then the triplicates the president assents to the bill. One is taken to the office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Another copy is kept in the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the CJN. Then a third copy is kept in the office of the CNA, the Clerk to the National Assembly. These different officers have their functions on the bill. One, the one on the office of the CJN is for enrollment, the works. That is one. Two, the one in the office of the AGF is for gazetting, because that is where you have the original copy. Ordinarily, these are our laws, copies they sell on they are supposed to be gazetted copies. Then the CNA, the clerk to the, note, I said clerk to the National Assembly, not clerk of the National Assembly. The CNA now keeps a copy for numbering, because he is, by the provisions of the Acts Authentication Act, he is supposed to keep a register of all the laws. He is supposed to number. We are in 2025 now. Any law that is passed in this, let's say, last January, he is supposed to number. Maybe I wouldn't know how he does his numbering. Maybe he can have, okay, 15 minutes. He can have his own reference number, then 001/2025. Then another law is passed, 002, his reference number is in front, 002/2025. Emmanuel, you will ask your question soon. Let me complete these thoughts. So the CNA numbers, the AGF gazettes, and the CJN enrolls. That is one. Two, the wisdom behind separating these laws is that at no time should there be no original copy, the original copy of the law available for use. If we recall, I think it was about 2 years ago, there was a fire outbreak at the Supreme Court. It wasn't in the office of the CJN though, but assuming it was, and the fire was not curtailed, that means every document there would have perished by fire. So it means we still have original copy of our law with the office of the AGF and another in the office of the CNA. Mr. Emmanuel, ask your question, please. Hello, Mr. Emmanuel, your hand is up. Ask your question.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Thank you very much. Please, I just want to ask that I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry for coming in late. I want to find out the clarification on the second stage, which is a committee on the rules and the procedures. Please, This committee, how are they different from the committee of the sixth stage? They are the six stages, please.
Okay.
At stage 6, yeah.
Okay. Now, the Rules and Business Committee is a standing committee, functional. They are the ones that prepare the order paper. Order paper is like an agenda for what is going to happen on every legislative business day. They are the ones in charge of the calendar of the house, the activities of the house that will happen on the floor. Do you get? They are the ones that slate your bill for hearing. They are the ones that will give you dates. Okay, this your bill will be heard on 12th of February. Your first reading will happen, your second reading will happen on 6th June. It is their business. So every bill is submitted to them. They are the ones that will go through your bill to see if it conforms with the structure of the house. For example, if you mistakenly label a house bill, Senate bill, they will tell you that this bill is meant for Senate, so you go to Senate and not House, or you go and correct the bill and bring it back. If the bill does not conform with the structure of the House, maybe you bring in your final provisions at the preliminary stage, it will not fly. So they scrutinize your bill to see that it conforms with their in-house process. That is why. Rules and Business Committee, it is a committee, a standing committee. Then the committee in stage 6 is maybe Senate Committee on Security. We just told you that this committee is for rules and business. So the business of the house goes to this committee. Now, if your bill is on security, then your bill should go to, at the committee stage, it is referred to the House Committee on Security. If it is on agriculture, it is referred to the House Committee on Agriculture. Does that make sense, sir?
Thank you very much. I'm very, very convinced concerning this your explanation. Please, I would like to ask for that on this same committee as well. Why getting all your points? But still, I'm still not clear on the strategies that the House is using or the Senate is using to select the committee. I just want to
understand me. These are already serving members of the these are elected members of the House. The committee members are not outsiders. The committee members are not, maybe I am not an elected legislator. Then they will now call me, Ebenezer, come and be in this committee. No, it is members of the House. Prof, your hand is up, sir.
Ajulo, this is a 2-year course. Legislative drafting is a 2-year course. There's a lot. When Ebenezer says standing committee, those are permanent committees in the standing orders of every legislature. There are some committees you don't mess with. Rules and business, forever and ever, it will always be there. They are called standing committees. However, there are other committees that with time they can create them. Then they have ad hoc committees. For emergency, they just create that committee to handle an issue. But the standing committees are those committees that would forever be there. Some of those standing committees are created by the Constitution. For example, Public Accounts Committee. And each committee has a jurisdiction, the area in which, that's why as a legislative lawyer, you need a copy of the standing orders of any legislature. By virtue of Section 60 of the Constitution, every legislative house should create its own standing orders. That standing order, inside it, you will see the list of committees and their jurisdiction, so that one committee does not encroach on the
on one another
of the other one. And let me tell you, as a lawyer, when you want to appear before a committee, you need to do your readings. Where I appeared before the Public Accounts Committee. It's a serious, they have their rules, if you have to defend somebody, there are procedures, just like you're going to court. So legislative law is an area of law that is distinct. It's not something you just wake up and say, oh, I've been going to court, I can do this. No. Go ahead, Ebenezer.
Thank you, Prof. And Mr. Kingsley, you raised your hand. Kingsley Wakwe.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, part of the questions I wanted to ask, Prof answered in the comment session.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Prof has answered them already. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. If we have more questions, let's see how many more we can take before we are logged out. But the class continues tomorrow on this same topic. Any other question, please? Or you see clarity on what I said earlier that wasn't too clear to you? Okay, can I ask my own question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Just, Emmanuel, can you give me 4 stages? Okay, at what stage does the lead debate take place? At what stage does the lead debate take place? Or, firstly, what is a lead debate? Then at what stage does it take place? Hello, Mr. Emmanuel, did you get my question? What is lead debate and at what stage of lawmaking does it take place? Go ahead. I can't hear you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Please, I need a clarification on the question. What you ask?
The question is, what is a lead debate? What is lead debate? 1, 2. At what stage of lawmaking does the lead debate take place?
Okay.
Anybody can answer, please, not just Mr. Emmanuel. Anybody can answer. Because it is important you know these things. It is very, very important. That's what makes you a legislative drafter. It's very, very important. That's what makes you a trained professional. If we are talking, even in the midst of other lawyers who have not gone through this training or these who are not in this area of practice, they will not understand what you're saying. Hello, Mr. Oscar.
No, I think that will be in the, I think it's stage 5, sir. And the reading debate is a kind of situation, is a stage of which the subject matter is placed at the floor of the house to have a deliberation, and to discuss the nature and the authentication and the usefulness, to see whether the proposed law is going to be in consonance to the constitution and for the human development, whether it is acceptable.
Let's hear from Oscar. It's okay.
Yes, Mr. Oscar.
Okay, thank you, sir. I was going to say almost the same thing. It's stage 5 during the second reading. I think that's when the debate.
Who prepares the lead debates?
Sorry?
What is the lead debate?
A lead debate is at the point of second reading, when it is now debated by the I think the committee or the committee of the whole. I don't know if I'm right.
Okay, you see, that's it. A lead debate is the argument in favor of the bill prepared and presented before the House by the sponsor of the bill. A lead debate is the argument in favor of the bill prepared and canvassed before the House, at the floor of the House, by the sponsor of the bill. It's the person who is sponsoring the bill that presents his lead debates. Remember, at the first reading, the bill is read out. The short title of the bill is read out. That's all. Then at this, Prof. Sir.
When a bill, there are three bills: executive bill, judiciary bill, private member bills. When a bill is sponsored by the executive, when a bill is an executive bill, who would be the sponsor? The tradition is the majority leader of the ruling party. He takes up the bill because executive bills come with a cover letter from the president or prime minister to the legislature. But the sponsor of executive bill is, by tradition, the majority leader of the ruling party. Now, if it is a judiciary bill, it comes with a cover letter from the Chief Justice to the Speaker or the Senate President. It is also the majority leader that sponsors it. But if it is a private member bill, then the sponsor is a legislator, and he is the person that will do the lead debates. So take note of these small differences.
Thank you very much, Prof. Okay, housekeeping announcement. Over the weekend, an assignment was dropped on the platform. You recall that every week we give assignment at the end of the week on the topic we discussed or we treated within the week. So there's an assignment on the group platform. Just look it up. If you have not done your assignments, yes, we can extend to tomorrow because the assignments came in late. So we can extend to tomorrow. Submit your assignment so that it does not, this week's assignment does not also catch up with that. Thank you very much. I have less than 1 minute to go. We have come to the end of today's lecture. Once again, I apologize for the mix-up in the link. Tomorrow, the class continues. And Madam Tony, the class holds every work day from Monday to Friday by 12 noon Nigerian time. We also have our colleagues from Lesotho, and their own time is 1 p.m. They are 1 hour ahead of us.